So most of you guys know that we bought a shuttle bus. Now today seems like the perfect day to start work on the bus, and that means conversion. We're going to be converting it into a kind of mobile getaway, just a fun little camper. Not a full van life conversion, but I'm going to start clearing out the stuff we don't need and working on the bus today. Okay, we're parking in the barn temporarily because the first thing we need to do is take out this wheelchair lift. Now, I know I've read everybody's comments and so many people want me to leave the lift because it's so handy. That's true, but it's just not going to fit with what I want to do in here. I have a whole design laid out and this just doesn't fit into it. I need this space. And that's what I'm going to try to work on today, is just getting this out of here. I don't anticipate it being very difficult. But probably heavy. So let's see if I can do what I can do. Over the last week, I've actually been working on this lift behind the scenes, experimenting, learning, taking it apart, trying to fix it because it had a couple of small issues. I tried fixing everything I could before taking it out of here while it was functional. I wanted to make sure it was a fully functional lift and there was no major problems with it. So I wanted to take care of all of those while it was still intact. So what I got set up is I have a pallet on the ground behind here. I hope you guys are going to be able to see this okay. It's dark in here because we're in the barn. But there's only 8 bolts holding this to the floor. It's that simple. It's the whole unit should come out. So 8 bolts, remove the wiring, and this should pop out. The only other thing is that these are carriage bolts, so I'm going to have to do all the work underneath, unbolting it from the bottom. So you probably won't see much, but I'll show you pulling it out. Okay, so all the bolts are actually pretty loose and easy to get off. I'm not worried about that. I think I'm going to slow down for a second and disconnect the wiring first before I get too carried away here. So we'll slide the cover off the unit here. Okay, I think I'm going about this all wrong. Alright, I was working on the electrical and looking at the setup, and I almost think that I have to have this down to take it out. Otherwise, I'm not going to be able to get the bolts out. So the reason I pulled it to the barn was so I didn't have to lug this thing as far. I could just drop it on a pallet. But I think we're going to have to pull back out and do it in the yard. Let me experiment. I've never removed a lift before, so I'm just making it up as I go. Alright, we're out of the barn. I already cut the power to this unit, so I'm going to manually drop it, and we're just going to see how it goes. So now you can see those bolts. These are the bolts that I'm going to have to take out. And it looks like there's 10 of them, so I was wrong. There's 10 bolts. I disconnected the wiring, which you guys can see a little better now. This is the power. I already taped it off. And I did disconnect the power from the bus before doing that, so we don't have any shorts. Then I disconnected the ground, and this is just the solenoid switch trigger. So all the power is disconnected. Bolt time. So this is what I'm dealing with down here. Where am I? These are the bolts. The nuts that I have to get off. So I got 6 of them off. I got 4 more to do down there. But it's pretty simple. It's just a little slow because they're carriage bolts and they spin if I don't kind of hold them down. I have nobody on top holding them still for me. So a little slow, but we're getting it done. We finally got all the bolts out with Ashley and Belle's help. They came to help me. That's done. It should be fully free from the bus right now. So I'm going to take a break because we're hungry, I'm dirty, and I just feel accomplished that we got the bolts out. So we'll take a break. We'll come back and see if we can get the rest of the unit out. Now how do we get it out? The unit is wider than the door. Let me see what happens if I start jacking it up. Literally, the unit is wider than the doorway, so I'm not exactly sure what we do with this. I guess I would put it, if I bring it in, I could turn it and put it out sideways. Let's put some weight on this. This probably won't be heavy enough, but it's a start. Let me take these back off. Ashley is out here with me now. I can't figure this thing out, so I said, Ashley, come out, I need help. She has an idea, so let's see if we can get it out now. Okay, so how do you want to start? So you're thinking
just lift it.
Lift it and kind of pull it this way?
Yeah. Can you even budge this thing? You want me down there to help lift?
I don't know if you'll be able to help. Because the gate is so, flopsy.
Wow, that's heavy. Can't lift that.
I don't anticipate it being very difficult, but
what if we take this off? Try to use that yellow handle to kind of. Well, we gotta get back in here first, right? Oh man, I don't even know how we got it out. It won't fit in that door. screws are so tight, and I'm afraid, what if they don't like, you know how like when you take stuff apart, like what if it doesn't hold as strong when you put it back together?
Yeah.
That's why they're so tight.
Red lock.
Yeah. Okay. Let's set it over here.
Okay.
Okay. I think I had good luck when I was lifting this side. Let me try that again.
Ooh, it should go out now.
Help me. I don't want to drop this.
What do I do?
Pull that side out.
A tiny smidgen. There.
No way.
Woo.
Wait, let me lift it and slide it. Okay, we're not on the pallet anymore, but we're...
Let's just get the thing out and then we'll work on getting it on the pallet.
Oh! Okay. Do you want to try to fold it now? Maybe pump the handle and just let it... And... See what it does? I don't know what happens when we pump it when it starts turning sideways if the hydraulics work. Wait. Oh, I'm gonna get trapped. Wait. This is feeling dangerous.
Well, what do I do?
Can you go out there and just hold the yellow handles up? It's starting to like close up. Picture this going on my legs. Okay, ready? Don't stand in the closure zone.
No.
Okay, let go.
Whoa! That was scary.
Are you okay? What? Picture if I was in there still? Look at my legs would be chopped off.
My leg almost got stuck in there. It could have snapped it. That's heavy.
Yeah.
That was not fun.
Now, imagine me being alone doing this.
Great.
You'd find me out here with my legs and me like laying here. Just yeah, that's funny.
It'd be like dark out. I'd be like, what is taking them so long?
Picture my body like this, and I'm just like stuck in there all messed up.
And you're like calling for me and I can't hear you.
Mm-hmm. This is like the human mousetrap.
Ew. Oh boy. This feels light compared to the wheelchair thing. Cold.
Well guys, here it is. The lift is gone. So that turned into so much more work than we anticipated.
I don't anticipate it being very difficult.
But we're glad it's out of here. And this is going to open up space for the next step, the next stage of the job after these seats are gone. But to look at this floor, it looks bad, but it's not that bad because this is actually like a vinyl cover. This is just surface rust from the unit we took out. And underneath this is a solid steel plate, so it's all very solid. But this isn't rusty metal, this is just on a plastic flooring right here. So it's actually all very solid. I don't want it to look weak or anything, it's looking good. So this bus build is off to a dangerous start. That was actually pretty scary getting that out of here. We made so many mistakes and did so many things wrong. It was just amazing that nobody got hurt.
Yeah.
We just came at this all wrong. I thought it was a simple unbolt it, pull it out, and it turned into like a puzzle. Like we just couldn't figure out. It was wider than the door. It weighed so much more than it looks. I mean, it's heavy. Everything was working against us.
Yeah.
And I had this idea of dropping the platform out so I could reach the bolts better. But after that thing was extended and the bolts were out, there was no way to fold it back up. And I thought I'd be able to just lift it out the door, but like we said, it was too wide. Luckily, Ashley came out.
Had to take the door off.
Yeah, we really struggled for a long time, as you guys saw, just trying to figure out how to get it out of the door, and we couldn't do it without removing the door. We needed that little bit of extra space to kind of shimmy it sideways and get it out. And then it turned into a giant mousetrap where it was just, I felt it coming down on me, and I was standing between the unit and the unit.
Shouldn't have been standing there.
And it was like coming down heavy, and I'm like,
ew.
I'm like, get it, get it. Wow.
Yeah, and then I went out and grabbed the yellow part, and it was just so heavy.
Yeah, it was deceivingly heavy.
And then it like, the whole thing just like collapsed.
Yeah, I was glad I was out of there, and Ashley almost got it.
It like brushed up against my leg, and if my leg was like in the wrong spot, it would have like...
Yeah.
And it was like right against the corner of the barn.
Yeah.
It was like weird.
So
scary.
Don't take any tips from us about how to remove the lift. You probably
we did
should
it so wrong.
Leave it folded, get the bolts out maybe another way, and then just lift it and shimmy it out. I don't know. We're just glad it's done. Now, what are we doing with the lift? A lot of people told us to keep it, and a lot of people told us to sell it. We would probably keep it in here, like I said before, if we didn't need the space, but we need the space. We're not going to need the lift. It just won't serve us a good purpose with what we want to do back here. We're going to be building beds. There's not going to be a lot of room to haul anything in. What's the point of having it?
No point.
Yeah. Now, as far as selling it, we're totally cool with that. We would love to give somebody a lift, but they're not worth as much as you would think.
At least not in this area.
We looked online, and there's actually a couple in the area just readily available for pretty cheap, like $200 or less. And I think the problem is that they're so big and so heavy and so specific to like buses that it makes it hard for people to want them or use them. So they're not in high demand. Now the wheelchair lifts for vans and smaller vehicles, I think they're made for those vehicles. And they're just sized a little differently. And those are probably more sought after. But I think it would be difficult for somebody to make use of that. And our lift wasn't in great shape. It worked okay, but it needs some new parts. There was a couple of things that are broken or missing. It's functional, but it should be repaired, and repairing it would actually cost quite a bit because the parts are pretty expensive. We're probably going to try to sell it, but we probably won't get much for it, and most likely we'll end up having to basically give it away to somebody. I think that's what it's going to come down to.
I feel like the only person who'd want it is somebody with like a box truck. Maybe they can do it out the back door.
Like a makeshift lift gate, that would be kind of cool. And that's only if it can reach the ground. Some of those boxes are high up. So, it is what it is. We'll try to find it a home. We have no use for it, but it's not really worth a lot, and it's not super ready for disabled people to use, I wouldn't say.
Yeah.
So the next step of the build is the seats. We're going to take out 2 of the seats. We will be keeping these seats that we're sitting in. We'll explain it as we go, but we have a whole layout. We'd love to show you the layout, but it's mostly in my head. So the rest of it should go easier than the lift.
Yeah. I hope that's the last wheelchair lift we have to ever take out.
If I ever have to do another one, I know I'm going to do it differently. At least. At least. So I guess that's all we really have to share today. We're going to cut it short and leave you guys with just the lift removed. I was hoping to get to the seats, but we're not going to get there yet. The weather cooled back down, but we're going to keep working on this as we can. We got some big plans, big progress. I'm going to try to share them as we go. We've been ordering some cool things online. We'll share that stuff. I think you guys will enjoy it. So Thanks for watching. We'll be back soon with another video. And until next time, take care.
Bye.
Weird.